Hello hook loopers, welcome to my crochet channel. I'm Sarah. Today I will show you the Tunisian cross and purl stitch. This stitch is a combination of two Tunisian stitches we already know, that is to say the Tunisian purl stitch and the Tunisian cross stitch. It is worked from a chain in multiples of 4 plus 2 stitches. So here I have already started with a standard foundation row in Tunisian crochet of 10 stitches, which counts as row number 1. In row number 2 we will start with the stitch pattern right away. So first loop on the hook already counts as stitch number 1. We will not consider the vertical bar that's right behind it as usual, but we will start with a Tunisian cross stitch, which is done like this, if you remember. So you needed to skip the first vertical bar and work a Tunisian simple stitch under the next one. So you skip this and insert the hook under the next vertical bar like this, as if for a Tunisian simple stitch, yarn over, pull through and drop a loop. Then you need to go back to the skipped stitch and work another Tunisian simple stitch under it. So like this, yarn over, pull through and drop another loop on the hook. And here we have formed our nice little cross in front of us. Next we will work under the next 2 stitches in Tunisian purl stitch. So if you remember, we need to bring the yarn to the front of the hook like this, then insert the hook from right to left under the next vertical bar like so, bring the yarn to the front again, yarn over, pull through and drop a loop, and we will repeat and make a second purl stitch under the next vertical bar. 2. Then we will make another Tunisian cross stitch using the next 2 stitches. So we skip this stitch and work a Tunisian simple stitch under the next one like this. Then we go back to the skipped stitch and work another Tunisian simple stitch. Then we will work another 2 Tunisian purl stitches. Okay, finishing as usual our forward pass with a so-called neat closing stitch that is done by slightly twisting the side of your work like this, recognizing where these bars are, then insert the hook under the front vertical bar of that last stitch and its back vertical bar at the same time. Okay, like this, so as to form a nice edge on the left as it is on the right. Then we yarn over, pull through and drop a final loop on the hook. Then we will proceed with a standard return pass, which is done by yarning over and pulling through 1 loop only first, then we yarn over again and pull through 2 loops together, yarn over and pull through 2 loops together, yarn over and pull through 2 until the end of the row, until we are left with just 1 loop on the hook. Okay, so that was row number 2 and the first row of our 2-row repetition for our stitch pattern. In row number 3, the second row of our 2 rows repetition, we will do the opposite of what we've done in the previous row. That is to say, we will begin with 2 Tunisian purl stitches in the first 2 stitches like this, one and 2, thus working 2 purl stitches over the cross stitch with which we began in previous row below, okay? Followed by a Tunisian cross stitch using the next 2 stitches, that is to say over the purl stitches of previous row below, okay? Like this, and so on. That is to say, we will work now 2 Tunisian purl stitches and a Tunisian cross stitch. Like this, finishing with a neat closing stitch and return. Okay, that was row number 3, and this is the pattern basically. You just keep on alternating row after row, working a Tunisian cross stitch on the 2 Tunisian purl stitches of the previous row, and vice versa, working purl stitches over the Tunisian cross stitch of previous row. And this stitch produces this kind of honeycomb pattern, which is really, really lovely. I know I always say it, but I really mean it. I am in love with this stitch because it produces this lovely texturized pattern. So imagine using it for a sweater, or worked in the round with a contrasting color for the back color, using a solid color for the main color, and see what it comes out of it. So that was it for today as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.